Welcome back to my views and news. Three news stories and one update for you. Firstly, update for you is on the bail granted to a journalist who was imprisoned more than 3 months ago. His name is Temesgen Desalegn. 2 days ago, I reported that Temesgen had been granted bail by a court. Temesgen Desalegn is founder of Fitti magazine. He was arrested when Ethiopian federal government, Amhara regional government launched a crackdown against dissenting voices in the Amhara region earlier this year. He was arrested several times in his journalistic career. He has been released. His pictures are being shared showing him with his family. So Temesgen Desalegn is out of prison. Most of Ethiopian journalists who were arrested in recent months are out of prison. Govt released, Miyaza Muhammad released too, Temesgen Desalegn too. But these are big names. What about other local journalists, other political workers, Fano fighters? There are thousands who are still in prison, especially members of Fano. Despite the war in northern Ethiopia, which has come to a close now, federal government did not release thousands of Fano fighters. So while big names are being released, what about others who have no one to speak for them? I think this reconciliation which is happening in Tigray, it should happen in Amhara region as well. Those who are in prison, they should be released. A viewer in comments section today wrote that he did not like my sermons. Well, I can't help speaking. Sometimes there are issues that I don't speak on them with any preparation. So it just happens that now when we are calling for reconciliation between Tigray region and Ethiopian federal government, why shouldn't we call for reconciliation within Amhara region as well? Now, three news stories for you. Firstly, Tigray official news sources today accused Amhara militia, especially Fano. For the last 2 days, we have been seeing some posts, some messages being shared by pro-Tigray activists and journalists that Amhara militias were committing robberies and atrocities in Tigray. Today, through DWTV, Tigray regional government leveled some allegations against Amhara militia members. Secondly, an update for you on the delivery of aid to Tigray. Amhara to Tigray road has been opened. North Gondar Mesabre road has been opened for delivery of aid. A convoy entered Tigray from North Gondar and flights are starting to arrive on Shire airport. And lastly, viewers, US is continuing to keep Ethiopian government under pressure. US wants implementation of peace deal, two deals signed, one in South Africa, other one in Kenya. Antony Blinken, US Secretary of State, talked to William Ruto, Kenyan president, and the topic of discussions was Ethiopia and Congo. Firstly, viewers, Tigray regional government, through its official news sources today, leveled some allegations against Amhara militias, especially Fano. DWTV today claimed that Fano militias have entered several towns and cities of Tigray. Cities and towns like Adwa, Aksom, Shire, and that they are committing atrocities there. They are looting properties of locals there. Cultural and religious heritage sites are targets of these Fano militia members. We have seen pictures of some Fano fighters from Axom. In one picture, a Fano fighter was seen standing in front of a bank in Axom. It is being claimed by DWTV and other Tigray, pro-Tigray news sources that Fano fighters are looting religious and cultural sites of Tigray. We are hearing same allegations against Eritrean military too. That Eritrean military is looting people's belongings, that civilians from Eritrea have entered Tigray, especially near Shire. No allegations against Ethiopian National Defense Force. Where is ENDF? How can Amhara forces operate without approval from ENDF? Or without Amhara forces have been part of this third round of fighting, but they were mostly under the command of Ethiopian National Defense Force or Eritrean military. They did not fight on their own. Mostly they were fighting in collaboration with ENDF, but they fought on front lines this time. So if Amhara forces are involved in lootings, in atrocities in Shere, Adwa, Som, where is ENDF? ENDF is also there in these cities. Any statement from ENDF? No. So why is that Tigray government is not naming ENDF? Its target, Tigray government's target is EDF and Amhara forces too. What is the reason behind not naming Ethiopian National Defense Force? Is it because Tigray government is putting pressure upon EDF and Amhara forces, Amhara militias to withdraw from Tigray? That is why this campaign is being launched against EDF and Amhara forces, excluding Ethiopian National Defense Force. It's difficult to confirm or reject what is being claimed by Tigray backed news sources. Obviously, these are just claims. If a Fano fighter is standing in front of a bank, it's not a piece of evidence to claim that Fano fighters are looting public belongings in parts of Ethiopia, parts of Tigray. Though it could be happening. I think Tigray regional government, Tigray backed news sources should share some evidence as well. Interviews can be recorded, people can be contacted. So if there is something like lootings and kidnappings happening in Tigray by EDF and Amhara forces, Tigray regional government should come up with some sort of evidence. Secondly, viewers, delivery to Tigray is definitely improving. Since the start of this conflict in November 2020, only one road was being used for delivery of aid to Tigray, and that was Afar to Makale road. Mostly, this road was being used by aid organizations. Amhara region closed the two roads, especially after TDF entered Amhara Far regions in July last year. After that, Amhara region closed supplies of aid to Tigray through Amhara region. But now, roads leading to Tigray from Amhara region are being used for delivery of aid to Tigray. North Gondar to Share Road is open, and a convoy of World Food Programme entered Mesabre from North Gondar. From Mediarke, North Gondar, it entered Mesabre. A convoy of several trucks carrying food and other items has reached Mesabre reportedly. Remains both roads will be used, North Gondar Shire Road and A2 highway, Waldia, Kobo, Makale Road will be used, apart from Abala Makale Road. That is how speedy delivery of aid to Tigray can be ensured. Meanwhile, today, first UNHAS flight landed at Shire Airport. United Nations Humanitarian Air Service transports aid workers to and from conflict areas. These flights are conducted to ensure the rotation of aid workers, and one such flight landed on Shire Airport today. It means that airport is operational now. Flights will arrive not only in Mekelle but also in Shire. I think if Ethiopian government has decided to accelerate delivery of aid to Tigray, you will see change in Tigray in coming days, because by air, by road, delivery of aid to Tigray will be increased, and in days people of Tigray will be able to receive basic items which they need for survival. Medicine and medical aid is also required in Tigray. But people who are in dire need of food aid must also be provided with food and other items. Lastly, viewers, the US is keeping up its pressure upon Ethiopian government for implementation of peace agreement, though some say US is trying to hijack the peace deal which was signed in Pretoria. And in Kenya, under US pressure, Ethiopian government agreed to some points which it shouldn't have agreed to. Antony Blinken talked to William Ruto a few hours ago, and their two topics came under discussion: Congo and Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, peace deal has been signed, implementation is underway, and talks were held about implementation. Kenya, Ruto playing a key role. Kenyatta was the main man, one of the main men in South Africa, who led the peace talks between TPLF and Ethiopian government. In Congo, talks are going to start. Talks about Congo conflict going to start in Nairobi, Kenya on the 21st of November, involving East Africa community countries. There, Kenyan military is deployed too. Kenyan military is part of EAC's contingent, which is based in Goma city. M23 fighters advancing towards Goma city. And Kenyatta was in Congo yesterday and on day before yesterday, and there he held some meetings. Now he's back. He has departed Congo, and he's making preparations for another conflict resolution. The 21st of November in Nairobi, Kenya, talks will be held about East Congo conflict. So Antony Blinken discussed both conflicts. Why was Ethiopian conflict discussed? Because still a lot needs to be done. And Kenyan role is essential. It's very important. Reportedly, the issue of withdrawal of Airtel military was discussed.